Peace, audience, and Yah bless all of you. And this is for Yhwh Our Righteousness, Jerusalem, and the Holy Seed. Blessed be the name of Yah of hosts, He who creates, the King, the tree of life, the fountain of living water, the Spirit and creator of all things, the first and the last. Beside Him there is no Savior, and He is He who creates of the whole earth. There is none else. We have no other salvation, any of mankind. Now, get your VCRs and whatever your recorders are, because today I'm going to talk about our enemies, the descendants of Esau. And like I said on the previous show, the descendants of Esau, all of them, the descendants of Esau, the Edomites, are not complicit with this demonic satanic movement that has existed now for a little over 2,000 years, about 2,200 years. The descendants of Esau have claimed to be Israel, all the way back to the Maccabees, Mattathias, Judas Maccabee, John Hyrcanus, Herod, as well as Josephus. I know many of you out there who are knowledgeable of the book of remembrance, the so-called Old Testament, and historically in tracing these things down, you know these names that I'm mentioning. The ones of you out there that don't know these names, then you have to do some homework, because these things are vital to know. That's why so much obscurity, so much darkness and confusion in the world today, and we have much confusion in the world. And the descendants of Esau, specifically the Amalekite Edomites, who have the dominion today, as it was spoken of that they would in the book of remembrance, Numbers chapter 24. It says Amalek was, past tense, first of the nations. And if you track Esau, which you must be able to do to understand what's going on in this world, what has gone on, you must be able to see the past as clear as possible, and that will give you clarity into today, the present day. And this also, once you get a view of the past in total clarity, or as much clarity as can be, which Yah will allow you once you plug into Yah, once you become in harmony with Yah, okay, where you're not turned back. If you're worshiping any kind of idolatry, imagery of any shape, form, or fashion, materialistically, any living person, any dead person, like many people are today, and these mythical beings, these mythical characters that exist, that people worship the ideologies of these mythical characters as the good spell, the so-called Gospels, the New Testament, Islam, and mythical concepts and idolatrous concepts such as also Judaism, and Buddhism and Hinduism, and all the way to today's Scientology, whatever it may be. You will be turned back, as it's spoken of in Isaiah chapter 42 verse 17. You will be turned back, as it's spoken of in Malachi chapter 2. You will be cut off, and you won't be able to see and understand what has been perpetrated and what is being perpetrated upon not only Israel today, but all of mankind. And today, this is April 14th, 2008. It should be very plain to most of you out there, I hope many, and more every day, that the whole earth and everybody on it are oppressed and are snared and caught by the elitist who control the economics of the world. Now, once you go into the history of the machinations that are put in place, that have been put in place to control economically the people of the earth, it's going to take you to the BIS, which we've mentioned in the past, the Bank of International Settlements, which is in Basel, Switzerland, the IMF, International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, And this all is tied into the Bretton Woods Agreement that was brought on, conceived in 1944, as far as we know, but put into action in 1946 after World War II. And these economic organizations and control organizations are put in place by the international bankers, okay, which are your Rothschilds, your Warburgs, your Schiffs, and here in America, as well as they have been over in Russia for many years, the Rockefellers. These are all tied in, okay. They all work in conjunction, okay. They make up the so-called Bilderbergers. That's just the hotel where they met once and they picked up this name, but it all leads back to the Illuminati international bankers, which again are the House of Rothschild, headed by the House of Rothschild, together with the Schiffs, like I said, the Warburgs, and others, okay, those who were financed on this side of the water by the House of Rothschild, and this international cabal were the Rockefellers, and this was done in the 19th century. John D. Rockefeller, Carnegie, and E.H. Harriman. Carnegie with the steel, John D. Rockefeller with the oil, E.H. Harriman with the railroads. And this America was established by the international banking money, okay. And this started all the way back when they came over here, okay, because they financed the trips. And again, when this happened, the Rothschilds weren't prominent as they became in the latter part of the 18th century. But you had other descendants of Esau who were complicit with this movement. Like I said, Cristobal Colon, better known as Christopher Columbus, was a Jew or a descendant of Esau, okay, and that whole trip was financed by Edomite merchants, entrepreneurs who were based in Spain. And this also, you can take this back to the Rosicrucians that came on the scene in the 15th century CE-AD, and then from there you go back to the beginning of the 14th century, around 1307 in France. You had a group of people called the Knight Templars, okay, and these Knight Templars were descendants of Esau. They were warrior knights who became bankers, and they got very, very wealthy over a short period of time, and they got so wealthy that the monarch of France wanted them to basically donate to him, because he had expended a lot of cash in the French economy from wars that he was and the French were involved in, and they wouldn't do it, and so this French king attacked them. In doing so, they had already got previous word though from the Pope at the time, because unbeknownst more than likely to this French king, the church and these Knight Templars were complicit. The church was established by Esau, okay, and this goes back to this mythical story of Jesus, or Yeshua, or Yahushua, as many people know him to be called, this mythical character, because it was a myth. He never existed, and there is no mention of him by this name in the Book of Remembrance, and the so-called New Testament, the Gospel, the Gospels, are the fulfillment, supposedly, of the Book of Remembrance, the so-called Old Testament. But when you go back into the Book of Remembrance, the so-called Old Testament, you will not see anywhere from Genesis through Malachi where it prophesies